There are a number of formats you can export your model to that preserve the 3D information in the model. Now this is unlike a rendering, which turns the 3D information into a picture. And it's also unlike an animation, which is just a sequence of pictures shown to you. The beauty of an interactive model is just that. You can interact with it in a non-canned way. I'd like to start by demonstrating perhaps the oldest format, which is called VRML, and this was developed in the early 90s by Silicon Graphics, and it has a long history that has a series of fits and starts, but it's still out there, and there are a number of companies that provide free viewers that allow you to visualize a 3D model on the internet or in a lightweight player that you can install on your computer. You can export to VRML right from 3ds Max and Viz. Go to the Create panel under the Helpers category and choose VRML 97. Now down here you can set up these different nodes which give information to the export. These nodes don't render. In fact, nothing renders here in 3ds Max. All the rendering will happen in the VRML viewer. The most important node here is the nav info. And I'm just going to create one over here. And it doesn't matter how big this is merely a placeholder that contains this information over here. And it will use this information when it exports the virtual reality model. You can set the type of interaction that you want to have. I'd like for this to be a walkthrough. I'll turn on the headlight, and in a virtual reality model you have what is called an avatar, which is like a representation of your body. You can set your eye level above the terrain here. I'll set it at 5 feet. The collision distance is how far away you have to be from an object before you hit it. I'll just say that's 1 inch. And the step height, this allows you to step up and over things. I'll say that I want to step over anything that's 1 inch high. And that's all I need to do. Now I'll go into walkthrough mode here in my camera, and I'll just move over here into this entry space prior to exporting the model. Now I'll go up to File, Export, and I will select at the very bottom of this list VRML 97. Now that should tell you something. This technology has been around for a decade now, and it's still going strong. So I'm just going to call this House and export the file. We have all these options here in this dialog box. You should generate normals so that the surfaces can be oriented correctly. Indentation's not important. That's just it indents the text within the file for easy text editing. Primitives should be checked in case it can simplify any of the geometry into primitives which are more efficiently stored. You don't need these other options. The polygon type should be triangles for maximum compatibility. We'll start in camera 1 and we'll use the nav info node that we created. All these other nodes are options that you can explore on your own. And if you created a background or fog, they would appear in these drop-downs. I don't want to use a prefix on my bitmaps, and I'll just say OK. And the file is exported. In the next video, I'll show you how to view this model in a VRML viewer in a browser or in a standalone application.